While Final Cut Pro has strong audio support with over 24 filters and basic level and pan automation, Soundtrack Pro is designed from the ground up to create professional, polished audio for your final project. With it, you can fix problems with individual tracks from Final Cut Pro, or you can send your entire multi-track audio to Soundtrack Pro for finishing. And with the advanced Conform features, the work done in Soundtrack Pro stays current even when you make changes to your Final Cut Pro timeline. When you have a single clip that needs a fix performed, like noise, hum, click, or pop removal, simply Control-click or right-click on the clip in the Final Cut Pro timeline and choose Send to Soundtrack Pro Audio File Project. Give the project an appropriate name and save, preferably within the main folder for your current project. Soundtrack Pro opens with your audio ready to edit. If video is associated with the clip, you'll see it in the Video tab.
Think you can handle it?
You then go to work using Soundtrack Pro's non-destructive toolset to resolve the problem. Here, a sample is taken of the background ambient noise using Process, Noise Reduction, Set Noise Print. Then, using Process, Noise Reduction, Reduce Noise, the ambient noise is lowered.
Think you can handle it?
By checking noise only, you can adjust the threshold of the reduction to be sure no legitimate sounds are removed. Soundtrack Pro includes many other tools for clip repair, like click and pop removal, ground hum removal, and clipping repair. These are accessed via the Analysis tab. You can also apply the other effects and processes found in the Process menu. When you're satisfied with the changes you've made, just save the project and switch back to Final Cut Pro. Back in Final Cut Pro, the clip is updated.
Think you can handle it?
To make further changes, Control-click or right-click the clip and choose Open in Editor. A powerful automation feature in Soundtrack Pro is the Save as AppleScript command. Just perform one or more processes on a clip in the Actions tab and then choose File, Save as AppleScript. Now you can select as many clips as you like in Final Cut Pro and choose File, Send to Soundtrack Pro Script. Your script will appear in the menu. To keep the process non-destructive, choose Yes when prompted to create Soundtrack Pro projects, then choose a location for the created projects. All selected clips will be processed with the actions you set in the Actions tab. For the best possible sound edit, you'll want to send the entire project to Soundtrack Pro for final audio production. Select your sequence in the browser and choose File, Send to Soundtrack Pro Multitrack Project. Choose a location for the project and then decide whether you only need to work with a preview of the base video track or want to wait for the complete sequence to render with any composited video streams included. Soundtrack Pro will open with your audio files imported. Commonly, last-minute changes will be made to a picture edit after the export to Soundtrack Pro has been performed. That's where the Conform tab comes into play. Here, a single clip is moved down the timeline and a new clip inserted at its original location. The sequence is sent to Soundtrack Pro again, with its project name incremented as appropriate. Now in Soundtrack Pro, select the original project that's already been edited and sweetened in Soundtrack Pro, select the Conform tab, then click the Conform Projects button. In the left column of the window that appears, choose the original Soundtrack Pro project you've been working with. In the right column, choose the incremental project just exported from Final Cut Pro. Finally, click Continue. Timelines of the two project versions can be selected from the Show menu. Below is a list of all the audio clips associated with the Final Cut Pro sequence. Soundtrack Pro tracks the changes made and determines where audio files should be relocated to maintain parity with the Final Cut Pro edits. As you click on each of the clips in turn, you'll see its location within the two projects highlighted yellow in the timeline. If for any reason you want to keep a clip at its original location rather than conform it to the new picture edit, set its Position Duration option to Use Original Clip. Clicking between the buttons at the top of the tab will switch the project pane between the original sequence, the updated sequence, and a new project which will include the conform changes to the original. When you're satisfied that the conform is accurate, click Finish. When prompted, click OK to confirm completion of the conform. You can then continue to edit the Soundtrack Pro project. Note that while Soundtrack Pro repositions the clips, it will not trim them in cases where the clip length is changed. Your first step after the conform should be to trim clips if necessary. If additional edits are made in Final Cut Pro, repeat the process. This time, compare the previously conformed project against an export from the newly updated Final Cut Pro timeline.